On this episode of Roger That Garage, we're gonna save this old 1999 Dodge Ram. It's a 3/4 ton, 5.9 liter, 360 gas, single cab, long bed. Just an old work truck, very basic, bare bones work truck, 4-wheel drive. I want to turn it into a farm truck, put a flatbed on it. It's got almost 200,000 miles on it, and amazingly, it's been touched very little. The intake had never been off, and the plenum gasket was bad, which is almost certain on any magnum engine if you got more than 100,000 miles on it, if it even makes it that far. So I don't know how. I don't think it's been replaced before. It does say like China on the gasket. Maybe it's been off, but it's been a long time. But yeah, plenum gasket. Water pump's already been replaced, so that's good. I'm just cleaning it up, put a new gasket. I don't think the cap and rotor's original. Put a new spark plugs. I'm not going to worry about wires right now. I'm just trying to do this real cheap and quick. But got the plenum all cleaned up. Really good. Well, kind of, not really inside. Like I said, I'm not going to take too much time. Sprayed it out, blew it out. Cleaned the surfaces really good. Getting ready for reseal. So I like to put a little right stuff around it with a good Fel-Pro gasket. So hopefully today I'll get that sealed up and back on. Still got to clean the surfaces of this, but I guess I've got a thing for heavy duty gas trucks. So I got this. This is a gas truck, 3500. That's a heavy duty, 3/4 ton, 400. And then I've got a 91 Chevy 3500 HD outside with the TBI 454. Another cheap, they get the job done. And I don't have to really pull big hills or anything too much. So yeah, I'm excited to see how this thing turns out. These plenum gaskets are so prone to leaking. I put just a real thin bead. I already did it underneath the gasket, but on both sides. I don't really like to use silicone or RTV that much on most things, but yeah, these things are super prone to leaking. If you just do it by itself, it'll work for a little while, but then it'll just start leaking again. So this should last a long time. Plenum is all resealed. Oh, you can hear I think we got some grapple falling. It's like little ice ball things. Anyway, plenum's all resealed, pretty much ready to go. Now I gotta clean the intake, heads, intake, everything really good. I don't really like doing this. I hate it, but you gotta do it. So I'll just carefully scrape, trying to not drop stuff down inside. Got the shop vac here ready to go to help clean up. So fun stuff. All right, I've got it about as clean as I can get it. So what I do is I plug all the ports and coolant passages with blue shop towels and stuff some down in there, the lifter valley. And I go over it with the big gasket scraper, knock the big chunks off. And then I go over it with the razor blade to scrape it really clean, get it flat and clean as possible. And then I'm vacuuming a lot along the way, because if I drop the light or snag the rag or something, all that stuff's just gonna go right down in the lifter valley. So I do a little bit vacuum carefully, because you don't want to suck the rag up and dump everything or in the ports or anything. So I vacuum little by little, scrape, go all the way around, and then I'll pull the rags out so anything falls out in there, and then I'll carefully pull the middle out, and then I'll go around with the vacuum again. Like the head gaskets are right here, and stuff hits those and kind of goes in a little bit, so I'll try to suck those out really good, get any debris I can find down in the lifter valley, and anything that makes its way down past that gets caught up in the oil sump screen, and anything that makes it through that With 200,000 miles, there's probably plenty of clearance to let some stuff go through the bearings before it gets caught in the oil filter. So all right, it's all clean. Intake is drop-in ready. I replaced the cap. That's the only thing, well, one of the downfalls of this old second gen style truck is super big pain to get to the cap and rotors back in there behind the intake manifold with this weird overhang on the cab there. So I did that while I was there. Stock one was, yeah, it's pretty not great. And I did have one terminal there that was super rusty, so I decided not to do the wires right now. I mean, is new Chinese made wires better than old OEM used units that are working? I don't know. But I do have another set of used wires off of Magnum. I'll replace that rusty one wire for now. I will put new spark plugs in it, I think I already said. But one thing I like about these LA Chryslers is you pull that spider thing off that holds the lifters down, you can see the cam. It's really nice. So, and the cam it doesn't have any real bad stuff going on, but the surface is kind of getting a little rough on a couple lobes. So for 200,000 miles, it's probably to be expected, especially with the life of a old work truck. This was owned by a construction company for a long time, as far as I know. But you know, just got to keep changing oil, and I'm only going to put a couple thousand miles a year on it, so I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, I'm a big fan. I love the Magnum V8 5.9, any of the LA, well, Magnum series, LA and Magnum small block Mopars. I'm a big fan. Great engines, very reliable. Yeah, they're not the most powerful, but super reliable, super simple, super cheap to work on. So definitely think it's worth saving this old truck, keeping it alive, instead of buying a newer one that's got cylinder deactivation and all this other annoying stuff to deal with. So 4 of the bolts from the intake manifold were pretty rusty and crusty. I actually snapped one off, one of the front ones. But I stole 4 of them out of, this is the 3.9 V6 that came out of the Dakota before I swapped in a 360 into it. So to swap these out, I'll have a good set of bolts. Gaskets all laid in there, ready to go. I think these rubber gaskets with the metal inside, I think they work pretty good, so I don't really put anything right here. I'd put it on the corners and around. I did on the inside gasket on each side, but I mean, they were leaking on the old gasket, but that was how many years old and how many miles. So as long as this truck's gonna live, I think it'll be just fine. I'm sure it'll seal just fine. So I put a little bit of right stuff on the intake side, and it'll be ready to plop on. Update. I got it all torqued down, went through the sequence, looked it up on the internet, but yeah, it's torqued down good. Just kind of going through and hooking up everything, vacuum lines, electrical injectors, everything like that. Yeah, just going right along. Won't take too long. I don't think I'll try to start it today. I mean, it's kind of cold. That gasket maker stuff, it's not feeling very set up yet, so we'll see. If it feels like it's kind of setting up, I'll probably fill it up with coolant tonight, and then I'll check it in the morning, see if it had any leaks, and then I'll try to start it tomorrow. So, oh, and I did do a test where before I put the intake on, while the distributor cap was off, I grabbed the crank and spun it back and forth a little bit to watch the movement in the rotor. There's a little bit of play, chain's a little loose, not too bad though. Not like some things I've seen. Okay, it's the next day. Obviously it's all back together. Went really good. Fired right up. And it already sounds way better. Idling smoother. A lot happier, so successful. I'm gonna let it warm up a little bit, check the coolant, and then take it for a quick test drive. Alright, I'm taking it on a quick test drive. Yeah, it idles smoothly. See if it pings when I accelerate here. Nope, man, way more power. No more pinging. Come on, transmission. Oh, that's weird. Transmission's shifting weird, and the four-wheel drive light just came on for some reason. But anyway, yeah, it runs a lot better. Temperatures come up. So I'll get back to the shop. I'm sure the cat's all plugged up from sucking in oily water. I mean, oily air from the crankcase. So I'm gonna look at that. But because it stunk really bad, the cat, you can just tell it's plugged up, even though there's no check engine light. But anyway, headed back to the shop. I'm gonna pull it on the lift and check that out. I checked the transmission and there's nothing on the dipstick, so I think it's just low. It was shifting late, and then when I stopped here in the yard and I stepped on it, it like took a second to kick into gear. So that's fine. I was gonna drop the pan anyway and change the filter and look at the fluid, change it out. So I got this truck for basically nothing, by the way. So I don't mind putting some money in it. Man, that catalytic converter, that exhaust just stinks. Just scored these wheels today. Nice used set of wheels. They're 245s. It's actually what it calls for stock, so they're a little smaller. It's probably not what anybody wants to put on their diesel. But for this gas truck, being tall geared at 355 gears, I think it'll be just right. Low rolling resistance. Won't gear it up even more with taller tires. And they look kind of cool. Nice wheels, so that'll be good. It's a Monday, a new week. I'm focusing on saving this old 90's 3/4 ton gas Dodge from the junkyard, basically. Got the intake all resealed last week and took it for a test drive, and it wasn't really shifting very well. Didn't even really kind of want to go into gear. This transmission fluid's way low on it. I don't know if it's leaking on the pan. I think it's leaking around the shifter seal. I've got a new seal, new pan. I'm gonna pull the pan, do a new filter. Hopefully it's not too horrible in the pan there with material and whatnot. It doesn't look like this transmission's ever been pulled. I need to look closer at it, but it's not a great thing because this thing's got almost 200,000 miles. And probably the original 4.6 RE. So pull the pan, see how it looks in there. New filter and gasket, and then I'll top it off. Then I can take it for a good test drive. So I hate this part with how messy it is, but it's got to be done. So I'm gonna do it. Yeah, this transmission was super low. I had to tip the pan that much just to get some to kind of fluid to spill over. A lot of the bolts were not even tight, loose, so I'm sure most of it was leaking out of there. I really hate doing those seals. All the transmissions in the truck, but I've got one. I can see fluid coming, or leaking from up there, so I'm sure it's leaking, just with this many miles, but so far the fluid's not too horrible. Doesn't even smell too abnormally burnt, so I don't think this truck's towed very much in its life, just the way things look, but we'll know for sure once we get the pan off, see what's at the bottom of it. Pan's off, and it actually looks really good in the bottom, like miraculously. A little bit of glitter, which I think is normal from what I've seen out of all the pans I've pulled in my life, but almost like no clutch material. So a little bit. There's some, but pretty minimal and pretty pretty much what you would expect, I guess. So I think this transmission will keep going for quite a while. So it's weird there's no magnet on these. Huh. Anyway, that's good news. Should go back together and just work fine. Now I'm not saying it's never been serviced, because I'm pretty sure these aren't factory gaskets, and the filter that's in it looks aftermarket, but it's been a long time since it's been serviced, that's for sure. This gasket's pretty hard, pretty stuck on there, and it's like fiber stuff. It's not rubber like what came in my kit. So yeah, pan's all cleaned out, got the new gasket on it. I like to stick all the bolts through just because they're kind of a pain to thread through that rubber, but I just do this and I just get them all started slowly, put them on there. So no silicone. I find if I just snug them, not too tight, but snug them pretty good, and then check them once in a while, leaks are pretty minimal. So it's pretty cool seeing the similarities between this 4.6 RE and its grandfather, the 727. I know that the seal can be easier to get with the pan off from underneath, kind of, but you have to remove the valve body and all that stuff, and I really don't want to do that. I've actually never done that before, but I've got this extractor thing that comes in from the top, kind of clamp with the big C clamp, and it works pretty good. Do it that way. I've done it several times, so that is the plan. So yeah, pan is ready to go back on. Took me about an hour to find my extractor tool, which was super annoying. I didn't put it where I should have or thought of, but anyway, I just use a big C clamp, put a little brace on the pan, put as much force as you get on it with the ratcheting wrench, and then turn it. Hopefully it bites. I'm actually using the camera to see if it bit into the seal yet. I can't really tell. So anyway, I'm gonna pull it off, see if it grabbed it. I pulled the C clamp off after I spun it on there, and this seems tight, so it did grab it. So now I'm gonna put a bolt in the top there, thread it down, and then it pulls the seal up if everything goes right. There, just like that. See it? With the C clamp, I had to just get it as tight as I possibly could, and then spin this with the wrench, grabbing it on the top there to get it to bite down in there. But it took me a couple tries, but I had to get it as tight as I possibly could with that C clamp. But yeah, then it finally bit down in there, and then I threaded that bolt in, pushed down, and it pulled it up. So alright, the new shifter shaft seal is in. It was a little tough pressing it in there with the C clamp. Usually they just go right in, but this one I had to reset it a couple times, and it finally kind of just popped down in there. I wasn't quite sure if it went all the way, but looking at other transmissions I got, older ones, and it's about how they look, so I can't get it to go anymore, so I think that's good. So I'll put all that back together, drop it down, and put fluid in it, and then I can finally put my new wheels on it. So the ABS light has been on, which on Dodge means this sensor on the rear end. There's like a thing on the ring gear where it senses the ABS, whatever. So I thought I'd swap it out with the one on my parts truck, and parts truck one came out easily. And of course this one was a bugger, and I had to jam a screwdriver underneath it and pry it, and it broke off. I left this little piece down inside there, which I just dug out, which was super annoying. Hit my head on the muffler 10 times, and anyway, it's out of there. So put the new one in. Hopefully the ABS light goes off. That'd be nice. ABS light is off, so that was a success. And actually I looked at the cat, and it was okay, so it was fine. It probably needs to burn off a little bit of stuff, but I just want to see it in the daylight with my new used wheels. Nice. Looks way better. Looks less like a scrap truck. went right in reverse, so before it would kind of hesitate because it's so low on fluid. So take it for a quick test drive and see how it shifts. Hopefully it's normal finally. Good old truck. Driving around a little bit, still kind of shifts late into second, I guess, but I don't know, maybe it just needs to relearn how to be a truck. But I like old work trucks, so simple. No power windows, no cruise control, no dash, no radio. Just bare bones. It does have AC that works. It's just nice. But the four-wheel drive light comes on when I accelerate. I don't know. I think these are vacuum controlled. The little locker sleeve thing that slips over the shaft in the front axle to lock both wheels together. I think they're vacuum operated or something, and maybe it's got a vacuum leak or something on that, and it's slipping in to lock and not doing what it's supposed to. It's telling the light to come on, so I have to look at that. Accelerates though, runs good. Oh yeah, it's got no tack either. Just revs so high before it shifts into second or third. I don't know. Weird. But it doesn't ping, it runs really good. It just takes forever to shift up for some reason. So I found this spring on the ground. This is, I think it's a kick down return spring. It keeps the kick down lever adjusted all the way to the front. This is probably why it's shifting weird. So I'm gonna throw this on, take it for another test drive. Just took it for another test drive. I'm glad I found that kick down spring because I probably would have never noticed or remembered about that. And I also found that I had the kick down lever upside down on the shift shaft there, so I got that all straightened out. Now the 1-2 shift is good and it kicks down normal. It just, for some reason, it takes a while to shift up to third or fourth or third for some reason, so probably just needs to relearn. I don't know, but pretty much got it where the fluid's correct. I just need to put some miles on it, but can't really do that until I fix the front end. I've got some new parts. It's pretty sloppy on the tie rod ends, and I think the drag link track bar is okay. I think it's been replaced, and the steering stabilizer is I took it off because it was like bent and half seized. So tomorrow, front end parts, and I guess I'll have to get an alignment, but after that, it's pretty much roadworthy enough to start driving, so that I can keep getting it mechanically sound. Once I get it kind of comfortable and mechanically solid, then I will start working on cosmetic stuff like putting a new dash. And this door, the driver door, was folded backwards, and one of the upper hinge is kind of bent, so I was gonna swap it out from one of my parts trucks. So hopefully by the end of this month I'll have it ready to go. And I also have a lead on a flatbed that hopefully will work out. So every day, little by little, gets a little better. One more update before the end of the day on that second gen gasoline truck. I mentioned how the four-wheel drive light was flickering when I would accelerate, when it would like lose vacuum. I looked under there and there was a vacuum line disconnected. So I plugged that in and it's good to go. Light went off, it's shifting good, so big day for it. So now tomorrow, if I can just get the suspension and steering sorted out so that I can get it in for an alignment, then mechanically it'll be good. So I'm in the D200 right now, going to pick my daughter up from dance. So see you tomorrow. It is a mid-January cold morning. It's like 23 degrees this morning, but like I said, now I am doing the steering. Got this tie rod in, this one. I think everything else is okay. The track bar looks like it's been replaced before. I got a new steering stabilizer. The ball joints, I think there's a tiny bit of up and down play, but nothing too bad. I don't know if this truck just had a lot of highway miles. Maybe this has been all rebuilt before. I don't know, it's hard to tell, but it doesn't need a lot. So I'm gonna place those parts, see if I can get it close within a shop alignment here. Take it for a test drive, so not too much. Maybe I'll even go register it, get it insured, get it out on the highway, see if I can get a death wobble or anything going. Finally got the front end together. I got 2 new tie rod ends. This sleeve was a sucker to get off. And once I popped it loose, got some, what do you call this stuff? Blaster. In there, loosened it, came off, but then it was, when I went back on, it went good, went easy for a while, then it got tight, really tight. I take it back apart, clean the threads deeper inside, anti-seize crap out of it, screwed it back together, and it still was super hard to move down to here, but it should be fine for just adjusting now for an alignment. But did a home, just measured it front to back. All it is a toe. That's all you can really do on these. So looks like I got a slight bit of toe, like 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch or something, 1/8 of an inch. So see how it does. Got a new upper tie rod end on the pitman there. Look at this, they're starting to be smart about stuff. Put a slot in the shaft there so you can like stick a screwdriver or something in there to hold if you know that it just wants to spin, which I always use the impact. It's not really a big deal. And then look at this neat little clippy thing. Instead of stupid cotter keys that stab your fingers, you just stick that in there, clips in. Nice, then you just pop it off. The cotter key is coming obsolete. Never thought I'd see the day. Anyway, just about done. I've got 2 problems here. This rotor, somebody let it go to metal on the pad, so it pretty much wrecked the outside of this rotor, which really sucks because the inside looks good. Both rotors look good, but this one's destroyed. And to get to the rotor off, you have to pull the bearing off on the hub, press the studs out, kind of a big pain. And then, you know, this universal joint, this one actually feels okay, feels tight, took grease and everything. That one on that side sloppy and not good. So I wish I had to replace this rotor, because then I'd have to get that out anyway. I didn't really want to mess with the universal joint. I was just gonna run it and hope it makes it till next winter or something. But I have the parts truck has good rotors on it, but that means I have to disassemble, pull 2 hubs off the knuckles from the other truck and then put it here. Is it worth it to save? I don't even know what a rotor costs. 30 bucks? Probably not. So I'm not very excited about that. Might just run it for now. But it bothers me. I don't like things when they're not right like that. So I'm not doing anything about it today. I'm gonna drop this on the ground, take it for a test drive. She's all registered now. And new steering stabilizer should steer nice. No more clunks and rattles. See how it feels. Alright, this is what we got going on now. I drove it around last night after I was done doing the work I did to it. It still pings terribly when you're pulling up the hill into town, when you got it under load. So I started thinking maybe it's got a weak fuel pump, so I hooked my gauge up to it, and it's the opposite. You turn on the key, it comes up just a little bit, stops, bleeds back down. Start it. It always took a little bit to crank to start. It goes up to 100, over 100 pounds of pressure. kind of runs weird. So telling me that the fuel pump, the relay is okay. Check that. So I guess the regulator, and then it bleeds off, bleeds back. It should, the keys on it should pump up to about 50 and stay there even when it's running, and then when you shut it off it should stay there, maybe slowly bleed off over hours or something. But yeah, either the check valve and the fuel pump is bad, or the fuel pressure regulator, and the only way to get to that is drop the tank or pull the bed. This bed's got to come off eventually anyway, because I'm going to put a flatbed on it, so I guess I'll be pulling the bed on it. And then that truck's got a new regulator on it, and I can steal it out of there, and even the fuel pump to test it. So a lot of bugs this old truck has, and I'm working out, but this should be a big improvement to it, the way that it starts and runs and everything. So all right, we've got the bed off, or the box if you're from Canada. Swapped out just the fuel pressure regulator, and now look at this. We're at 50 pounds. Hold it. I'll shut it off.
You want me to keep on the gauge?
Holds pressure and restarts quick. All right, that solved that. Bugs. One more step to excellence. Right?
Yep.
Okay, all right. Well, that was good. Fairly easy fix. It's really nice having parts trucks. This had already been replaced on the other truck, so it's new. I don't know how much they cost, but that saved me money. So I guess we'll throw the bed back on and take it for another test drive, see if it finally starts running good. The gas is pretty rotten. I put some in it, but it's had some really bad gas, so that could cause it to ping. So I'm gonna put the bed back on it and get it back together, and then go fill it up full of ethanol free, and then take it for another test drive. So endless. It's getting there though. It's getting better every day. All right, I've been driving the truck around since we got that fuel pressure regulator swapped out, and it's running really good actually. Finally feels like it's mechanically pretty solid now. It wasn't really pinging, shifting right. I don't know if I mentioned, but the kickdown cable, after I figured out I had the lever and stuff wrong on the transmission, I found that where the cable connects to the bracket on the throttle body, it was not snapped in there all the way, so it was off. So yeah, it's shifting great now. It's running good, starts up nice quick. So finally I got this truck. I ordered a dash for it from LMC Truck. So I'm just trying to get it worthy for that nice new dash. So are these old 90s trucks worth saving? I think so. Parts are pretty cheap and readily available. The trucks themselves are cheap to buy, and there's tons of them around, and they're a good truck. I mean, it's compared to like old 70s and 80s trucks, they got good brakes, they're fuel injected, overdrive, and yeah, they're just good old work trucks or run around trucks. So definitely feel like this truck was worth saving, and I think I'm gonna end it here since I got it mechanically about where I wanted it and reliable enough. I'm gonna just keep putting some miles on it. Next time when the dash gets here, I'll make a video of putting that in there and see how it turns out. So that's it so far on the build on this truck. So over and out, and we'll catch you next time.